Hi guys, welcome back to my read along channel. This is the Bed and Breakfast Star by Jacqueline Wilson. This is all Jacqueline Wilson's own work. I'm just reading it for entertainment and pleasure. So we are about to read the next chapter, which is called Bed and Breakfast. This seems to be a long one, so maybe only get time for the one chapter today, but we'll see. So without further ado, let's get going. Bed and breakfast. We went to stay at the Royal Hotel. The Royal sounds very grand, doesn't it? And when we were down on one end of the street and got our first glimpse of the Royal right at the other end, I thought it looked very grand too. I started to get excited. I'd never stayed in a great big posh hotel before. Maybe we'd all have our own rooms with satellite telly and people would make our beds and serve us our breakfast from silver trays, as if we were royalty staying in the Royal. But the Royal started to look a bit shabby and nearer that we got. We saw it needed painting. We saw one of the windows was broken and patched with cardboard. We saw the other big gilt lettering had gone all wobbly and some of it was missing. We were going to be staying in the Oil Hotel. Oh yeah, hotel, I said. It sounded funny. Oh yeah, hotel, I repeated. I thought of a song we sang at school about an old man river who just went rolling along. Oh yeah, hotel. I sang to the name of the tune. Will you just shut it, Elsa? Said Mac the Smack. I can't shut. Not a door, I said. Hey, when is a door not a door? When it's ajar. No one laughed. Mum looked as if she was about to cry. She was staring up at the Royal, shaking her head. No, she said. No. She started off quietly enough, but her voice got louder and louder. No. Come on, it's maybe not that bad, said Mac, putting his arm around her. Mum was crying. Mum was carrying Hank. He got a bit squashed and started squawking. Pippa's mouth went wobbly and she tried to clutch at Mum too. I don't like this place, Mum, she said. We don't have to go and live here, do we? No, we don't, kids. We're not living in a dump like this, said Mum. She kicked the litter in the driveway. An old Chinese takeaway leaked orange liquid all over her suede shoes. For heaven's sake, Mum wept. Look at all this muck. There'll be rats, and if it's like this outside, what's it going to be like inside? Cockroaches, fleas. I'm not taking my kids into a lousy dump like this. So where are you going to take them? Said Matt. Come on, answer me. Where? Hank cried harder. Pippa sniffed and stuck her thumb in her mouth. I fiddled with my hair. Mum pressed her lips tight together as if she was rubbing in her lipstick, only she wasn't wearing any makeup at all. Her face was white as ice cream. When I tried to take her hand, her fingers were as cold as ice too. She shook her head. She didn't know how to answer Mac. She didn't have any other place to take us. I'm sorry, said Mac. I failed you, haven't I? He suddenly didn't seem too big anymore. It was as if he was shrinking inside his clothes. Oh, don't be daft, said Mum wearily. She joggled Hank and wiped Pippa's nose and tried to pat my hair into place. We all wriggled and protested. It's not your fault, Mac. Well, whose fault is it then? Mac mumbled. I've let you down. I can't get work. I can't even provide a proper home for you. And the kids. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just circumstances, said Mum. I saw a horrible snooty old gent, circumstances, pointing his fat finger in our direction, while all the servants snatched our house and furniture and television and our toys. I was so busy thinking about him that I hardly noticed Mum marching off into the entrance of the Royal. Hank on one hip, Pippa hanging on her arm. Mac shuffled after her, carrying all of our stuff. He turned round when he got to the revolving door. Elsa, he called irritably, don't just stand there looking gormless. Come on. What's a gorm, Mac? And how come I've lost mine? Elsa, are you asking for a good smacking? I decided it was time to scuttle after him. I squashed into the doorway and pushed hard. It bumped against Mac's leg and he yelled and stumbled out the other side, cursing. I stayed revolving round the door by myself. I felt as if I wanted to go on spinning and spinning. Maybe if I told really fast like a top, then there would be this humming sound and everywhere would blur and I'd shoot out into somewhere else entirely. a warm, bright world where everyone liked me and laughed at my jokes. I stepped into a grubby foyer of the Royal Hotel instead. There was a dark carpet on the floor, red with lots of stains. The thick wallpaper was red too, with a crusty pattern like dried blood. The ceiling was studded with pale polystyrene tiles, but several were missing. I wondered if anyone went away wearing one as a hat without noticing. There was a big counter with a bell. We could see through a glass door behind the counter into the office. A woman was sitting in there, scoffing sweets out of a paper bag and reading a big fat book. She didn't seem to notice us, even though Hank was crying and Mac was creating a commotion, hauling our cases and plastic bags around the revolving doors and into the hallway. Mum touched the bell on the counter. It gave a brisk trill. The woman popped another pear drop into her mouth and turned a page of her Jackie Collins. Mum cleared her throat loudly and pinged on the bell. I go too, and Pippa. The woman turned her back on us with one swivel of her chair. "Oi, you in there," Mac bellowed, thumping his big fist on the counter. The woman put down her book with a sigh, marking her place with a sweet wrapper. She stretched out her arm and opened the glass door a fraction. "There's no need to take that tone. Manners don't cost a penny," she said in a painted voice. "Well, we did ring the bell," said Mum. "You must have heard it." "Yes, but it's nothing to do with me. I'm only on the switchboard. That bell's for management." "But there doesn't seem to be any management," said Mum. "This is ridiculous. If you want to make a complaint, you must put it in writing and give it to the manager." "Where is the manager then?" asked Mac. "I have no idea. I told you, it's nothing to do with me. I'm only switchboard." She closed the glass door and stuck the nose back into her book. "I don't believe this," said Mum. "It's a total nightmare." I shut my eyes tight, hoping like mad that it really was a nightmare. I badly wanted to be back in bouncy bed number 6 with the lovely new house. I put my hands over my ears to blot out Hank's bawling and tried hard to dream myself back into that bed. I felt I was very nearly there, but then Mac's big hand shook my shoulder. "What are you playing at, Elsa? Stop screwing up your face like that. You look like you're having a fit or something," said Mac. I glared at and shook my shoulder free. I shuffled away from him, scuffling my trainers on the warm carpet. I saw a door at the end of the hallway. It had a nameplate, "Manager." I pushed the door open and peeled round. There was a little man in a brown suit sitting at a desk. A big lady in a fluffy pink jumper was sitting at the desk too. She was perched on the man's lap and they were kissing. When they saw me, the lady leapt up, going pink in the face to match her jumper. The little man seemed to be catching his breath. No wonder. The lady was very big, especially in certain places. "Excuse me," I said politely. After all, I had just been told that manners don't cost a penny. "Come on now, out of here," said the big lady, shooing at me as if I stray cat. "And don't hang around the reception area either. I'm sick and tired of you kids turning this hotel into a play park. You go to your room, do you hear me?" "That's right, go to your room, little girlie," said the man in the brown suit, trying to brush all the bitty pink hairs away. "But I haven't got a room," I said. "We've only just come here, and we don't know where to go." "Well, why didn't you say?" said the fluffy pink lady. She flounced out of the room, beckoning me with her long pink fingernails. Hank was still howling out in the hall. Pippa was whispering, and Mum was muttering, and Mac was pacing the carpet like a caged animal, looking as if he was ready to bite someone. "So sorry to have kept you waiting," said the big lady, and she nipped round the corner of the counter and smiled, a big pink lipsticky smile. "On behalf of management, I'd like to welcome you to the Royal Hotel. I hope your stay with us will be a pleasant one." "Well, we're hardly here on holiday," said Mum, wrestling with Hank. She sat him down on the counter to give her arms a rest. Hank perked up a little. He spotted what looked like a very big pink bunny rabbit and started crawling rapidly towards it, drooling joyfully. "Please keep your children under control," said the big lady, swatting nervously at the advancing baby. "I'll have to process all your particulars." This took forever. Hank howled mournfully, deprived of his cuddle with the giant pink bunny. Mum sighed, Mac tutted and strutted, working himself into a temper. Pippa started hopping about and holding herself. There was going to be a puddle on the carpet if we didn't watch out. "Mum, Pippa's needing the toilet," I hissed. "Shut up, Elsa," said Pippa, squirming. Mum cast an experienced eye at Pippa. "You better take her, Elsa," she said. The big lady paused while sorting through our papers and pointed the way down the hall and round the corner. I took Pippa's arm and hurried her along. We just passed the manager's office. His door was ajar, like my joke. We had a quick peek at him. He was still sitting at his desk. He kicked his shoes off and put his feet up. One of his socks had a hole. His toe stuck through and looked so silly that Pippa and I got the giggles. The manager heard and looked across as we scooted quickly down the corridor. We had to dash anyway, because it was getting a bit dodgy for Pippa to be laughing in her current circumstances. Things got dodgier still because we seemed to take the wrong turning and blundered around unable to find the toilets. We came across a gang of boys as we rounded the corner. They were busy writing something on the wall with a black felt-tip pen. "Don't ask them, they'll laugh at us," said Pippa urgently. They laughed at us anyway, making rude comments about us as we rushed past. "You know the sort of things boys shout out." "They are rude," said Pippa. They were ruder than Pippa realised. She can't read yet. I read what they were writing on the wall. We hurried on, turned another corner, and suddenly I saw one of those funny little lady outlines stuck up on the door. I don't know why they designed the lady in that weird sticky-outy frock. And she hasn't got any arms, poor thing, so she'd just have a job to using the loo herself, especially when it came to pulling the chain. I was still busy contemplating this little lady while Pippa charged inside. I heard the door bang shut. "Did you make it in time, Pippa?" I called. "Shut up," Pippa called back. It sounded as if her teeth were gritted. I stepped inside to find out why. There was someone else in the ladies. A girl about my own age was sitting on the windowsill with her feet propped on the edge of the wash bin. She was reading a book. Well, she had her eyes on the page, but you could tell we were disturbing her a bit. "Hello," I said. She nodded at me, looking a bit nervous. "I'm Elsa, and that's my sister, Pippa, sitting in the toilet." "Don't keep telling everyone," Pippa shouted from inside. "Sisters," I said, raising my eyebrows. "Brothers are worse," said the girl. "I've got 3. I've got one too. He's a baby, but he's still awful. I still have to look after him sometimes. I have to look after my brothers all the time. Only I get fed up because they keep pestering me. So sometimes I slip in here for a bit of peace." "Good idea. So what's your name then?" "Naomi." "Hi, Naomi. I'm Elsa." "Yes," she said. "How long have you been here then?" "Sitting in the basin." "No, in this place, the hotel." "About 6 months." "You haven't." "Gosh." I was too busy thinking to carry on chatting. I thought we'd stay in the hotel a week or 2 at most, as if we really were on holiday. I hadn't realised we might be stuck here for months and months. Pippa pulled the chain and came out of the toilet. Naomi swung her skinny legs out of the way so that Pippa could wash her hands. There weren't any towels, so I let Pippa wipe her hands on my t-shirt. Naomi settled her feet back again. I looked at her. I looked at the tap. "I could give your feet a little paddle," I said. "Don't," said Naomi. I thought about it. "No, okay." I smiled at her. She smiled back. Things were looking up. I'd only just got here, and yet I'd already made a friend. I took Pippa's damp hand, and we set back off down the corridor. "I like that girl," said Pippa. "That's my friend Naomi. She can be my friend too. I like her hair, all of the little plaits. Will you do my hair like that, Elsa?" "It looks a bit too fiddly. Come on, quick." We were going past the boys again. They said some more rude things, really awful things. "You think you're so clever, but you can't even spell," I said, snatching the felt tip. I crossed out the worst word and wrote it correctly. That showed them. Pippa and I skipped on down the corridor, and eventually I found our way back to the foyer. "There you are. I was beginning to think that you got lost," said Mum. The big lady was handing over a key to Mac. "One room for all 5 of us," said Mac. "It's a family room with full facilities." Mac started the number tag. "Room 608. That's right. That doesn't mean we're up on the 6th floor, does it?" "You got it. But we've got little kids. You can't shove us right up at the top. It's stupid. It's the only room available at the moment." "Sorry," said the big lady, fluffing up her jumper. "There is a lift," said Mum. "Oh, yes, there's a lift," said the big lady. "Only the kids have been messing around and it's not working at the moment. We're getting it fixed tomorrow. Meanwhile, the stairs are over there." It took us a long while it took us a long while and several journeys to get us and all our stuff up those stairs. But at long last, we were all crowded into room 608, our new home. And that's it, guys. I am going to stop there today, as I do have to be out in a minute, but I know I didn't give you one yesterday because I was home late. So the next chapter will be Tea at McDonald's. That's what the chapter's called, and it's on page 41. But until the next time, guys, thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.